Hey everyone, it's Andrew back again with another tutorial for you all. This is just a simple crystal wire setting. As you can see, I've already built up a lot of detailing around this tourmaline crystal. We have these channel set stones on the side, as well as this swirl detailing on the left side to help hold this into place. Basically what we're going to be doing now is adding some little wire swirl prongs onto the crystal to hold it in, much like we've done with the tourmaline down here in the bottom. And we're just going to be feeding some wires through to the back, attaching them to the back, and then creating the swirls to hold this tourmaline into place, and then using some 30G wire as well to also bind them together. So starting with a length of 21G square, I've connected it to my back. I've fed it through on the weave that opens up to the tourmaline crystal, so that way I can build this swirl kind of starting on the weave and then over the crystal, and then it will hold that in place, as well as allowing that detailing wire to run down the side of the crystal and then to the outer end of the piece. I'm going to be doing something similar to the other side with another piece of 21G square. It's going to be some shaping until you get your circle perfect and where you want it to be. Again, a natural circle always looks better than a shaped circle, but this one was a little too wide for me, so I had to kind of squeeze it down a little bit. Some adjustments, and then it will be sitting where we want it to. And so once we have that where we need it to, we're ready to put in the other length of 21G square on the right side. I'm just doing the opening that is exposed from the curve in the channel setting on the side of the tourmaline crystal, forming another swirl. Going to be some shaping with this as well, and so basically you're just forming these swirls and then allowing that wire to run down the length of detailing to the outer end of the pendant. Once you have both of those wires set and where you want them to be, you're ready to start adding a little bit of a weave detailing, so that way these wires can be held together and these won't shift over your crystal. And so we're tightening the ends just a little bit, making sure everything's sitting where we want it to. And once you've got that kind of opening swoosh at the bottom of the tourmaline crystal, I mean, whatever you're working with, you don't have to have this weave detailing at the bottom of it. I had this open space down here in this design, and so I decided to fill it with this weave detail that spirals open from the bottom of this crystal. So what I'm going to do is feed a length of 30 gauge round through to the back to the frame, and then I'm going to bring that up and start connecting it 3 times around the outermost wire. Then I'm going to run it back over, connect it once around the innermost wire, then back over once around the outermost, and then back over once around the innermost. Just doing an even X weave pattern here to create a detailed texture for this section of the piece. As you can see, it just runs from the outer to the innermost, crossing over and under to the next wire, and then connecting around it. I have a couple of tutorials out for the spiral weave details, and it's basically the same process. Just an X weave when you want it to be even all the way through. You don't run any extra wire, being the 30 gauge, on the outermost or the innermost wire. Now I'm doing a bit of a opening spiral at the end here, so I'm wrapping it more times around that innermost wire since I have more surface area to cover, to create kind of like a fanning open effect at the bottom end there. I've taken the 30 gauge and wrapped it around one of the lengths of 21 gauge square, curved it to the back, and then connected it to the frame. I'm taking another length of 21 gauge square, connecting it to the frame, and then I'm going to bend this over the top of the tourmaline crystal to become kind of a just like top line or setting at the top of this stone here, to just help fill in some space and also make sure that this crystal doesn't go anywhere. Making some adjustments. I'm going to clip off any extra that I don't need, curve it along the length of my channel setting that I have going there. This honestly probably would have been better to do before making that other swirl on the side of the crystal that we're tucking this into here, but you know, we didn't think about that at first, and so yeah. always think about how you're layering your wires together and what will be beneficial to you to start putting first. Like, some details will be easier to put down on a frame and then layer it with other details instead of trying to force new details underneath something. But after a couple of adjustments, that wire will be sitting where I want it to be, and it's just going to fill in that space and create a nice little line at the top of the crystal there. Connect your ends and you're ready to rock and roll. I'm of course going to polish this with my silicone wheels and some bristle brushes or bristle discs and stuff, and so I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope it gives you some ideas on what to do in your designs. If you enjoyed this little setting tutorial, let me know and I'll definitely do some other ones. Thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial here. If you want to see any other components, let me know. I have a channel setting component, but I basically did the same setting for the bottom tourmaline in this piece as well. That was a little pear cut tourmaline in the bottom. So thank you all so much. I hope you have a great weekend, and yeah, keep creating.